Boogaloo, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Just glad to be here.
We are so looking forward to celebrating the legacy of the King of Blues, born in Indianola, Mississippi, but all of his roots here, his former management company here, all those musicians, all those bands that came from Houston, Texas. What a great opportunity to be able to meet you and talk to you, and even, being able to follow your career for the last 20 years that you had your own career also celebrating Mr. B.B. King. But is there anything you would like to say, first of all?
First of all, I'm just glad to be here and be a Houstonian and part of the blues scene. And always, Houston has always been in almost every music genre. Here, man. We have talented musicians from all over in this city, all the way back into the 50s,
So my first thought is just always, being an admirer of Mr. King and all the great work he's done. I'm from Arkansas originally, and my grandfather thought he was B.B. King. But tell me about some of the greatest experiences that you had with being on the road touring with Mr. King.
Oh man, just being able to travel all over the world. B.B. treated everybody in the band like family. He made sure you were happy, made sure you had everything that you needed to survive, even if it meant that he had to do without. Some of the experiences I had coming in the band, when I first got in the band, Calvin Owens brought me in the band. I had been knowing Calvin since I was about 15, 16 years old, here in Houston, playing on some of his own recordings. He would get these young cats and say that he felt like could actually do it, take you in the studio, promise you a lot, give you nothing. All right. But Calvin was my buddy, though, But down the road, if he could come up with something, he'd remember you and he'd bring you in. So he brought me into BB's band. I had just left Duke Ellington's orchestra for about a year or so. And I decided to come back home and just do nothing. I had given up on music, but Calvin wouldn't let me give up. So BB had an opening, and Calvin gave me a call and said, "Hey man, got an opening here with BB. Why don't you come on out and I need you to fill this spot." So we talked a little bit, and I agreed, and I came out, man. I thought I'd be in the band for about a year. I just wanted to get a touch of that blues in my system, in my playing, because I've been playing a lot of jazz, R&B and jazz before that. Calvin got in the band, man, and shoots, I got in the band. BB loved it. I loved him so much, man. He put so much love on me. I couldn't leave. 38 years later, I'm still there.
James Bolden on the trumpet, ladies and gentlemen. James Bolden.
But traveling the world, opening up things, meeting different people, treating you fine, there's many things I can tell you. Some of them I can't tell you on camera, though. Things that had happened.
Well, let me ask you your most memorable moment, being in the band. The one event that stood out the biggest to you.
Man, one of the biggest events that stood out to me, well, I'll say two. I can't remember the name of the festival, but it was a festival in London, England. I think it was in Birmingham, England. And they have this festival every year. And there's a lot of big artists on that festival, U2 and Mick Jagger and all these different giant artists on the show. But the audience, it was an outdoor festival, and there must have been about 150,000 people out there.
Wow.
Never played for an audience that large, ever, ever. And that knocked me off my feet, man. Then the next thing I would say, we did a 4-month tour with U2 band. So they were trying to get BB a younger audience, and U2 loved BB, and they loved the blues. That even Bono wrote a song. It's called "When Love Comes to Town."
I did what I did before love came to town.
Yeah, he wrote it for BB.
I think we're doing that on Sunday also.
Oh, wow, okay.
As a kid, I grew up watching television also, so I remember seeing episodes with BB King on Sanford and Son. I had another show in my head. When they had him on the Cosby Show,
Right.
All these other things. So his influence and his reach has always been just massive. And of course, for me now being a touring blues musician myself, I'm able to meet, like so many, you great guys that have played for him. I've never heard anything negative about him at all. I actually went to his funeral about 10 years ago in Indianola. So it was a treat to be there and talk to a lot of people and stuff. I knew he had a big back in gospel music.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which is where I came from. His great friendship with Mr. Bobby Blue Bland. And so I'm Bobby Blue Bland signed his first label here in Houston with Duke Peacock Records in the 50s, which before Motown was the biggest black label in America.
Right.
And it was based right here in Houston, set right there in Fifth Ward on Liberty Road. And so for me to, talking to Milton Hopkins, who was now deceased also, Milton told me he was with Johnny Ace when he tragically died at the theater here in Houston. So there's all these wonderful things. I want to know, in all your time, the biggest influence or the biggest thing that you feel like they left that BB has left on you, the biggest what word am I looking for? How he influenced you most?
Oh man, the teachings that he gave us about dealing with people, dealing with the record companies, dealing with just people in general. He tried to inform us all, and especially me, about the business. And man, with BB, I had every job there was in the band. I was band leader for a while. I was road manager. I was paymaster. I was set up the stages, the stage for every show. Organized and purchased uniforms for the guys, So set up BB's interviews even. So he taught me every part of the business that he knew, and he one of the things he told me, he said, sometimes you got to give up a little bit to get your foot in the door.
Absolutely.
You see, when you get your foot in the door, don't take it out. He said, get in there, work it. But he said a lot of times you got to take some crap just to get in there,
I know rumor has it that he always performed about 300 shows a year. And I think they did it all the way until he was too sick to work anymore, shortly before he passed away.
We did 300 shows. And when you say 300 shows, it's actually more shows. It's more like 300 days.
Okay, gotcha.
And because when I first got in the band, the first 4 or 5 years, about 5 years, we were doing 2 shows a night. So if you want to count that, you talking about 600 shows a year.
Okay.
And show-wise, but we were averaging 300 days a year. One year, I reported to my tax accountant, we had worked 333 days. And that wasn't the most that BB had ever worked. He had worked 345 days.
Oh, wow.
One year.
Wow.
And man, but it was, you never got tired of the music, because one thing, what he did with the music was, no song was the same every night. Every night, he'd switch up the flavor of the song. Up the tempo, he switch up the key, and he wouldn't tell you anything. He just started off playing. You just had to pay attention to him and go along with him. So a lot of his manager, who was Sidney Seidenberg,
Okay.
Sid had tried one time to get him to fire the band. not have a traveling band with him, not even take a musical director with him. Just him go along and have pickup bands like, a lot of the artists did, but they would carry maybe 2 or 3 musicians and a music director, and they go around from city to city, and they put together, go to the musician union, put a band together.
Right.
That wouldn't work with BB, and BB knew that wouldn't work. Sid tried to get him to see where you can make more money, Yeah. You don't have to spend as much money on hotels. You don't have to spend as much money paying musicians, salary and all. So, but BB said, no. He said, for me to work, I need a band that knows me because I don't want to be pinned down to the same exact thing every night because then that becomes boring to him.
Yeah.
So he had it where he carried his own band. And we learned little signals, things you might not even notice. He might just move his hand or move a finger or play one note, and we knew where he was going because we were with him all the time,
Okay.
I want to talk about you, of course. One of the most wonderful things is that I get a chance to meet Boogaloo with gray hair, and but if you go back and look at YouTube, you're going to see James Boogaloo Bolden with a big Jerry curl, doing the splits, baby, with a trumpet in his hand, taking a solo. You talking about an entertainer, man. Where did you come up with some of your signature things that you did, the things that you are most famous for?
Everything that I did with BB turned out to be on the spur of the moment.
So I feel the only proper way to introduce this young man, ladies and gentlemen, means that we have to move a little bit. So if you're ready, let's move, son. James Boogaloo Bolden, ladies and gentlemen, James Bolden. Thank you. James Bolden. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Nothing planned. I got excited with the music just like he did. I enjoyed the music. I enjoyed the shows. I enjoyed the rhythms and all. And I was enjoying the music better than the audience was. So all these different things just come up out of the clear blue, man.
Okay.
I had never split before. I just did it just on the spur of the moment. And, man, and in the very beginning, first show I did with BB was in Chicago at the Hyatt Regency near O'Hare Airport.
Oh, yeah.
That was my first show. Came in there, and that night, no rehearsal, no nothing. Had charts, but the charts weren't they were just road maps. They weren't even properly written out completely. So Calvin Owens was the band leader. Calvin took all the solos. Well, I'm coming from Ellington where, I played parts, but I had opportunity to play solos too because I was basically filling in for Cootie Williams, which was doing the plunger thing and solos like that. And when Cootie would be sick, I'd play. I was playing Cootie's parts. Cootie taught me, So, but I came in, coming into a band and only playing parts and Calvin taking all the solos. And I felt like, okay, but Leonard Carnegie. I don't know if you knew Leonard Carnegie. Leonard Carnegie was a musician and a band leader here in Houston, Texas. When I was a teenager coming up, and my first years at Texas Southern University, Leonard Carnegie would always hire me. When he heard that I got a chance to go out with Ellington, he called me one day and he said, "Hey man," he said, "I'm so proud that you're going out with Ellington. You deserve it." I said, "Thank you, man. Thank you." I said, "You've been to school. I've learned from all the guys, all the Houstonians that's been out on the road, guys that were out with Ellington before, and Basie and all that. They were in this band. Arnett Cobb taught me. I was playing with Arnett on Sundays here in Houston when Arnett was living here. But Leonard told me, he said, "Hey man, when you get in that band, find something that you can do that can't be replaced by anybody else. So all these dance moves, since I did get a chance to solo, all these dance moves and things were things that I thought I could do that nobody else was doing in the band.
Okay.
Calvin came to me one day and said, "Hey man," he said, "you need to stop that dancing because you interfering with the BB show, you know." And BB happened to be standing not too far when Calvin told me that, not too far away. So BB turned around and told Calvin, said, "Hey man, I want him to keep doing what he's doing. It's not bothering me. It's not interrupting me. Matter of fact, I'm having fun watching it from time to time." So that was it. You know, I had carte blanche to do what I wanted, basically.
That is awesome. I know you've also been in some movies,
Yeah.
performing. Can you remember some of the names of some of those?
Oh shoot! If you hadn't asked me, I could have told. I could have told you the one with Patrick Swayze.
That's also Houstonian, right?
Yeah. What's the name of that movie? It's on all the time. Also,
Next to Kin.
Next of Kin.
That's what it is.
That's it. Next of Kin did that movie and did the one with Robert Downey Jr. I can't think of the name of that one. This, you know, you taking me back into the 80s now, early 90s.
As a younger musician, man, I've always tried to do my homework.
Yeah.
By studying the guys that went before me. There's no need for me to build a bridge when one is already there.
Yeah.
Or at least when the foundation is already there for me to say, hey, okay, you know, these are things I want to do. And so as a musician, I've tried my best to really study, you know, you guys and have stories with you, you know, to ask the questions that's not in a movie, that's not in a book, that nobody picked up in a documentary. So I really appreciate you and everything that you've ever done for me, man, but also for the Houston and the musicians community here. We all stand on your shoulders, man. Big, broad shoulders, man. We really appreciate you for everything you've ever done for us, BB, James. And if you never get that appreciation, I want to say from me to you, thank you so much, man, for all your hard work, your many years of sacrifice. I can only imagine how much time that was away from your family, your children, your wives, your mom, your sisters, your cousins, people passing away, funerals, things you can't attend. So it's a lot given, you know, whenever you're a musician. And people don't always understand it. They never think that far. They kind of think of their own personal experience. But in me beginning to do those things, I'm like, hey, man, when you talk to this guy, you know, you got to realize here's how much stuff he lost or gave up or sacrificed or wasn't here for. And we really appreciate you for everything that you do, man. And I really pray that, you know, God's blessing is always on you.